This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and Radio. I'm David Weston. Food insecurity was one of the main topics of conversation at the IMF World Bank hearings this week in Washington. And we now have Secretary of Treasury Yellen, calling for a summit, actually, to deal with the issue of food insecurity. Welcome now somebody who's working very hard on this and has been for some time. He's Raj Shah, president of the Rockefeller Foundation. So, Raj, thank you so much for being back with us. I should say Dr. Shah, actually. I should show the proper respect here. But give us a sense of where we were on food insecurity before the Ukraine war.
Well, thanks, David, for having me. And, you're exactly right. Before the Ukraine war, it was a very bad situation. 810 million people were in a condition of hunger around the world. The poorest countries in the world, the developing countries, had only vaccinated 15% of their population. Unlike rich countries that were able to provide 20% of GDP as part of stimulus and recovery, those countries did 2 to 3%. And as a result, their growth prospects, more people have been pushed into poverty, 240 million people pushed into poverty. So the baseline was already a crisis. And then on top of that, Russia's invasion of the world's breadbasket, the World Food Program buys 40% of its wheat that it distributes to those people experiencing hunger from Ukraine. Really compounded that. And now we're facing a massive immediate food crisis in many, many lower income parts of the world. And what more people aren't talking as much about is I actually think the fertilizer crisis, where you have farmers all over Africa no longer using fertilizer because it's not available. 20% of it came effectively from Russia, is going to lead to an even bigger food crisis this summer and this fall. So it's a tragedy that was not the making of these countries, but they're the ones that have to bear the brunt of the burden.